Good morning and welcome to Headline Focus here live on Core Politics with me, Rob Double. It is Wednesday, the 24th of January 2018. Let's have a look at what's making the political headlines today. So to start off with, you might have remembered how Boris Johnson went on about the NHS over the weekend. Got a lot of reports, a lot of headlines coming through of his aspiration for £100 million a week Brexit dividend for the UK. Well, that didn't go down particularly well in the Cabinet meeting yesterday. He's been reported as being slapped down twice by Cabinet colleagues in one day. The first by Philip Hammond, the Chancellor, who reminded journalists that Mr Johnson is the Foreign Secretary, and the Prime Minister Theresa May making it public within the Cabinet meeting, reportedly, that such discussions regarding aspirations for anything, particularly to do with the NHS, should be made in private. Now, politically, was this good for Boris? Well, first off, people were talking about Boris Johnson, which is no bad thing. Certainly, it's nothing that he doesn't see as a good thing. But secondly, in terms of what he's aspiring for, NHS, more money for the NHS, very few people would disagree with that political ambition. So it's good for him in terms of association. What's next for Boris Johnson's the next question. He's making all of these big gestures. He's got a speech next month where he's due to be outlining his liberal vision for Brexit. Well, some journalists speculating that this could be him ready to resign and possibly ready to run a rival leadership contest. That might just be journalists making menace in what is a slightly slow politics news cycle. Next up then comes from Stormont over in Northern Ireland. Now power-sharing talks are expected to resume again today, this morning in fact, after more than a year after the Stormont executive collapsed when the DUP and Sinn Féin government collapsed over a bitter row. Now, the key thing here is that it's the first test for the new Northern Ireland Secretary, Karen Bradley. She's trying to broker this agreement, with James Brockenshire, of course, resigned in the cabinet reshuffle due to health reasons. She will hold individual meetings with the five main parties and will receive Parliament will receive an update on the progress from Miss Bradley by February the 7th. Really interesting story there. Sinn Féin Stormont leader Michelle O'Neill saying her party is ready to engage in the process. So it'll be very interesting to see today what comes out of the first initial talks. Finally, then, one more story, this to do with fake news. Now, Theresa May, the Prime Minister, is launching up a fake news task force to tackle specifically propaganda from other countries. Now, this is called the National Security Communications Unit, pretty sort of Americanised, it seems there. But they'll be tasked with, according to the government, combating disinformation by state actors and others. Now, who are these state actors and others is the question probably some of you might be asking. Well, think about what Theresa May has said previously. Russia is seeking to weaponise information. That's a quote that's been reported on widely today. And it comes after a day after General Sonic Carter warned of the possibility of cyber attacks as well on the UK. So the context, as you can see, perhaps certain state actors and non-state actors are particularly being targeted in this new task force. That's pretty much it for today. You're up to date. Don't forget you can find all the latest on what we're doing here on Core Politics on our Facebook page and Twitter right here. But from me and all the team here at Core London, have a fantastic start to your Wednesday.